Well, hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. It's Christmas week, and we are celebrating Christmas this week, and we're looking at the Christmas story through the book of Matthew. The first couple episodes we had done while I was in prison. I'm out of prison for the rest of Christmas week. So anyway, we're back in the studio, and I brought my stockings along with me also. So feel free to send gifts. You can send cards or whatever too, but feel free to send gifts so I can fill up my little stockings there. All right. Today we're looking at prophecy fulfilled only in Jesus. In this passage here, what we're looking at today, I'm going to point out two prophecies that were fulfilled in the birth of Jesus. And so Matthew, remember, was writing to a Jewish audience. So the Jewish audience was very familiar with the prophecies that were given in the Old Testament. And then Matthew points out how those prophecies were fulfilled. All right. So I want you to, if you have your Bibles, to turn to Matthew chapter 1, verses, where are we? 22 to 23. Chapter 1, 22 to 23. It says this: "All this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophet, the virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel," which means God with us. All right. So if he says that took place by what Isaiah had said through the prophet Isaiah. So if we turn back in our Bibles to Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14 is where we find that. So chapter 7, verse 14, it says this: "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign." Okay. "The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and he will call him Emmanuel." All right. So this is a huge thing. Okay. People are not born out of a virgin. Okay. It takes a man and a woman for a person to be born, no matter how you try and do it. Science today has not developed a plan that someone can be born without a man and both a man and a woman. Okay. They'll try everything possible, but it takes a man and a woman for a child to be born. Okay. But the prophecy was given that this child would be born from a virgin. Okay. So that eliminates really everyone except Jesus. Okay. So no one back then could claim, "Oh yeah, I didn't have a father. My mother was a virgin, and lo and behold, there I am out of this." So Jesus was the only one really who could fulfill that prophecy. But I wanted to also point out another one in chapter 2, verses 3 through 6. This is after the wise men had come to Herod, and they were coming, and they had said, "Hey, we know that the Messiah is to be born here." And King Herod doesn't know anything about this really, but he asks the Jewish leaders, calls them together, and says, "What do you know about this?" And this is what has happened here. And this is chapter 2, verses 3 through 6. "When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together the people's chief priests and the teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born." Okay? He has no idea where the Messiah is to be born. But look at this. "In Bethlehem, in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet has written." So they knew without a shadow of a doubt. And when they were asked the question, "Where's the Messiah to be born?" they didn't even blink an eye. They just said, "Well, it's in Bethlehem." Okay. Now they're going to give the reason why it's in Bethlehem. And it says, "For the prophet has written," verse 6, "But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler for the shepherd my people Israel." Okay. Keep in mind, Bethlehem was not a big city. It was a little shepherd town, or a place that if it had traffic lights, it might have a stop sign. Okay. No traffic lights. Just a small little town. But the prophet, this actually comes from the book of Micah. Micah wrote this prophecy and said that Messiah would be born out of Bethlehem. And notice, though, that the religious leaders were familiar with this prophecy from Micah and had no doubt when Herod would ask them, "Where's the Messiah to be born?" They said, "Well, in Bethlehem," because that's what Micah prophesied. All right. So I showed you today two prophecies that were fulfilled just in the birth of Jesus, just in this short passage, the two passages that I read here. First of all, that Jesus would be born to a virgin, okay? That was written by Isaiah. And then, where was the child to be born? In Bethlehem, okay? So when you start taking the odds down of this happening to anyone except for Jesus, it's like there's like no way anyone else can fulfill these prophecies. But as you continue going through the book of Matthew, you're going to find more prophecies fulfilled, and especially when it gets down to the Passion Week and the crucifixion of Jesus and so forth, there's a whole lot there that is pointed out that only Jesus can be the one to fulfill all those prophecies. All right? So I wanted to point that out today. Prophecy was fulfilled only in Jesus. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue looking at the Christmas story through the book of Matthew. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.